Hello and welcome to another Basics of the Bible video. My name is Christopher Scott. It's great to have you join me for the series of videos that I'm doing. This video is about the book of Proverbs, but it's part of a big series of 75 different videos I'm doing going book by book, Genesis through Revelation, giving the basics of the Bible and connecting these books to the whole Bible story. So in the description down there at the very beginning, I have a link to the playlist where you can watch all 75 videos for free. And in that description, I also have lots of study notes that I'm going to cover in this video that you're welcome to print and use for your own study, provided to you for free. So thanks for watching. So let's talk about the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs. The one-word description I've given Proverbs is guiding. It's guiding us on how to live righteously. Guiding. So before we talk more about Proverbs, I want to connect it to the rest of the Bible. So the Bible has 66 books in it. There are 39 in the Old Testament, 27 in the New Testament. Out of those 39 books in the Old Testament, they're in 5 groups. The first group is what's called the Pentateuch, or the Torah. That's the books of Genesis through Deuteronomy. Then the next group, it's a group of 12 books called the historical books. And those are the books of Joshua through Esther. Then there are the 5 books of wisdom, the wisdom books, which is what Proverbs is the middle of. And then there are 5 major prophets and 12 minor prophets. So the book of Proverbs, like I said, is about guiding us to live righteously. You can read the book of Proverbs your entire life and never master the wisdom in it. It is a collection of wise sayings meant to guide people to righteous living. And the key verse that I chose for the book of Proverbs is Proverbs 1:7, where Solomon writes, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction." And I'm reading from the New American Standard Bible, my Ryrie Study Bible. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom, it says. And I like to think of Proverbs as the advice that an older man is giving to his younger son about how to live righteously, how to obey God, how to stay out of trouble, and how to honor God with his life. So if you can have that picture of what would an older father want to tell his younger son to live godly and righteous, is pretty much what the book of Proverbs is mostly about. Now that applies to women and girls and children and everybody, but that's just the picture I try to have of his older wise man Solomon trying to talk to his son Rehoboam or other sons about how to live righteously. So let's go through some of the technical details of the book. The author of Proverbs is mostly Solomon. They are Proverbs of Solomon, except for chapters 30 and 31, which are written by Agur and Lemuel, and I'll talk more about those guys under the outline of the book. If you read 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 32, it says that Solomon wrote 3,000 proverbs and 1,005 songs. 3,000 proverbs and 1,005 songs. And it likely it's from those proverbs that we get this book of Proverbs that we are reading, is probably some of those. The audience, like I shared with you earlier, is probably younger men, all people in general, all of Israel, but it's really directed toward how do you live righteously to follow God. These were written most likely between 970 and 931 BC, because that is when King Solomon ruled in Israel. David ruled from 1010 to 970. King Solomon ruled from 970 to 931. And then in 931 is when the kingdom splits and Rehoboam takes over. The title of the book, it comes from the Hebrew root, shamal, and the title is the plural, shamali, it's the plural, which means proverb or proverbial saying. That title comes from a word that means likeness or comparison or similar. And so therefore, Proverbs is trying to teach wisdom for us by making comparisons and contrasts to show us how to live righteously. And my favorite comparison or contrast is in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 9. Where he's comparing lazy people to hardworking people to ants, right? So he's using this comparison to teach wisdom. He says in chapter 6, verses 6 through 9, "Go to the ant, O sluggard, observe her ways and be wise, which, having no chief, officer, or ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers her provision in the harvest. How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Your poverty will come in like a vagabond, and your need like an armed man." I read until verse 11, a little farther than I said. But he's comparing lazy people with hardworking ants. And that's how he's trying to teach wisdom. Don't be lazy. Be like the ants that work hard. And that's what a proverb is. The outline that I've made for the book is based on the categories of the book. It's pretty simple. Chapters 1 through 9 are the Proverbs of Solomon. Then chapters 10 through 24 are more Proverbs of Solomon because they seem to be developed and differentiated in the book in that way. There's a title at the beginning of chapter 10 that says these are more Proverbs of Solomon. For some reason, they're separated in the text. And then chapters 25 through 29 are the Proverbs of Solomon that King Hezekiah had recorded or collected and put together. And then chapter 30 are the Proverbs of Agur. Agur. We do not really know who Agur is. Agur means gatherer. So early church fathers and Jewish rabbis identified this person as Solomon, but we don't really know who Agur is. It seems to be a proper name. Chapter 31 are the Proverbs of Lemuel. Like Agur, we don't know who Lemuel is. We know nothing about this king, King Lemuel. Lemuel means belonging to God. So some people say that Lemuel was Bathsheba's name for Solomon, but that's just a guess. That's what some people would say. Lemuel is what Bathsheba called Solomon. But other Bible scholars think that this is a non-Israelite king, a king from somewhere else in the region that had some great proverbs that they put in the Bible. So that's still up for debate. Okay, so that's a brief introduction to the book of Proverbs. I hope it's helpful for you. I love the advice some people say. They say read a chapter of Proverbs a day for a month, or spend a year and do that and just repeat it, because there's 31 Proverbs in the book of Proverbs. So you can read one proverb a day for a month and just enjoy the wisdom in it and try to apply. I like that advice that I've heard several people say to do and have done that I have known. I've never done that personally yet, but perhaps we'll try. So thanks for watching these videos. Like I said, my name is Christopher Scott. If you want to find updates and get updates on future videos, there is a way you can subscribe to my monthly email newsletter where I promise I only send you one email a month. And in that email, I give you links to the articles that I wrote, which were published in the previous month. And then I give you links to the newest YouTube videos that I put out here on YouTube for free. So you're welcome to subscribe and get updates in that way. Thanks again for watching. I hope to catch you again soon in another video.